Hello, and welcome to Masterclass number 9. This class is all about your connection with your spiritual team, and I'm going to do a little bit of a talk around spirit guides and how to connect with your team. And then I'm going to be doing a procedure to help you connect to your team in a more profound way. And then after that, I have a channeling from my higher self to give a message to everybody else's higher selves. So I guess we're just going to delve into the information. Okay, to start out with, I have a few notes. So I'm just going to be going by my notes so that I remember to go through everything. So understanding your spiritual guide team. This topic is very complex, and I'm going to try to describe it as best as I possibly can. Okay, I have come to this understanding over many years, and it changes and evolves every time new information comes to me. What I am going to try to do is simplify and take out the human constructs. We as humans are told a story about life and its existence depending upon our ancestry and history and how it was told to us. Words are given to define it all and we all put human traits to everything. That's what we end up doing. We envision our guardian angel to have expansive wings and the ascended masters to look a certain way, when really it's only a perception of another person's vision. Our guides come to us in so many ways, and they appear to us in the most comfortable way that each person can accept. So for one person, a guardian angel comes with expansive wings. When I was a young girl, we used to host these people once a year called the Covenant Players. They were a group of people who would grow around in little groups of like 4 and 5, and they would do little skits at churches and schools along the way. And they were kind of like missionaries, right? And they were teaching the gospel. And my church, my parents were really involved in my church, and they would host them when they came to our town. And my parents would always offer like a couple beds for a couple of them to stay in. And many years these Covenant Players came, and we would always get like the same group usually that would come in. Maybe there would be kind of like a different person every time, but they would come in. And one year, we were kind of sitting in the living room, and they were telling stories. And there was this, like, they have like a special route that they go around every year. And this group of people, they were kind of like up in like the mountain pass up, I think in Utah or somewhere, like going up there near Mount Shasta or something, somewhere kind of driving up that direction. And it was like kind of in the middle of nowhere. And they would, their van broke down. They always had like a mechanic. There was one person in the group that was like the mechanic, and it kept the van going or whatever. But their van broke down in the middle of nowhere, and they needed a special part for their van. And so one of the other like people said, I'm going to go for a walk and see if I can find a house or something, someplace where we can call someone, because back then they didn't even have like cell phones or anything. So we were looking for like some help. And I can't think she walked about 10 minutes down the road, and there was this house, and she went up to the house, and there was a man and a woman in the house, and she told him what was going on. And the man said, oh, I have a garage next, like hooked to the house, and that he was a mechanic, and that he had a tow rope and everything, and he was going to tow the van. Went out, they towed the van, they brought it back, and they stayed overnight at this place because it needed to be fixed. And this mechanic happened to just have the exact right part that they needed for the car. And they spent the night there, and the lady made some dinner, and they were like, they had a really nice evening, and they fixed the car, and they went off on their merry way. Well, the next year, they were back up in the same area, and they thought, well, we'll stop by to that man and woman. We'll take them like some flowers and, something to thank them for helping us last year. And so they drove up to the place, and there was no house. No, nothing was there. Nothing was there at all. And there was like, for miles, there was nothing. And they know they were there because there was like this exact place on the GPS or whatever. They knew that this was the place that they were at. And all they could figure out was, I think these people were guardian angels, and they materialized at the right place at the right time. So that is just a little bit of a story that I wanted to tell around guardian angels and how they show up and how angels can show up. Okay, so back to the talk. So what I want to do here is I want to take the labels away and describe the labels and the words, the way that we put on our spiritual team, like without the normal mother, father, God type words or all that. Today for this class, I will use the term creator source as the label most people put on the word God, Sophia, Allah, etc. I will take out the words we use compartmentalize everything, as we humans tend to see everything in linear terms and expect everything to fit in a nice little tiny box. So as I describe this, I would like to take away the constructs and to simplify the whole concept that is very complex, and only a quantum physicist could really understand this. So I'm going to take this. So we will begin where it all starts and simplify it down. It all begins at the source of all creation. The way I'm seeing it, the source is one main hub of light. Okay? Everything comes from this hub, and we learn before we are really that, and as we learned before in the beginning of this masterclass series, that we really are all one. So originally there was this great big ball of light, and little by little the light began to divide itself into infinite clusters of light. Each cluster wanted to experience something different. Somehow, at this point, this was how the universe began to form. Each ball of light divided into multi-universes and galaxies and planets where different experiences could be played out. Eventually, planets and species and all of everything began to take form. There are literally so many worlds and universes and galaxies and species out there that we cannot sit here and say Earth is the only place that has life. There is life everywhere. We just can't see it because our perspective doesn't allow us to see it all in the way that it is, right? Everything that exists everywhere is us. I am you and you are me. Yes, there is universal law in place to help everything work like a well-oiled machine. But really, it's all a construct of imagination. Or is it? We will probably never know. So for today, I would like to break down this to understand the Earth inhabitants. Since it's Earth that we live on, and we are here at this moment on Earth in this class learning this information, at some point our light fragments decided to come to Earth and experience life in the way we are experiencing it. Each individual light fragment decides before coming to Earth what it chooses to experience and what it intends to try to accomplish. And a veil is placed over us so that we can play it out. It would be very, very boring if we actually remembered everything we are meant to accomplish to do. What happens is we are shown scenarios and scenes of what might play out, what might occur before entering the arena. We usually tend to stick with a group of light fragments each time we come to the earth plane of existence. We work together as a team to help each light fragment play out their part according to our choice of experience. There are so many scenarios and so much free will that when the veil is placed on us, we forget what we are actually here to accomplish. So, what we do is ask a team of light fragments who are residing back in the source bubble or void or wherever we reside in between lifetimes on the etheric level of existence. Each of us always has the part of their fragment that stays in the original source realm always, like the original place, right? And a soul never goes anywhere as a whole. It always has the oversoul left behind, while the fragment comes in to experience physical form. Which I must add, here on Earth, this Earth is only one destination to experience physical form. And there are infinite planets and Earths and species and beings that you can only imagine. But they exist somewhere in some place, and each of us has aspects or light fragments that are in these places too. We have so many fragments that are here to help guide us at all times. We are never alone, and we are always supported. They guide us to help us remember who we are and what we are here to do. They are silent partners, but all are here to ultimately help each other succeed in whatever it is that they have chosen to experience. Okay, so let's break it down just a little bit more. Okay, so we know that each fragment has a soul, has a whole team of fragments at its disposal. It's all like a video game. And life plays out in every direction and in infinite scenarios. We also have multiple Earths all experiencing life at the same time on different frequencies. There are parallel Earths with fragments of each of us experiencing the fragment that we are in the now moment in each place. So there are multiple Robins out there experiencing life in so many ways. And so to simplify this, though, let's focus, we need to focus on the one fragment. The fragment that is right here in front of you right now, here at this class. So you came down to Earth in the body you are in now to experience life in a certain way. You have goals and a purpose that you decided upon before entering the earth. You also came in with specific wounds to heal through and work through. And this is why most of us come to the physical plane, so we can move through them and grow and evolve and ascend to higher levels of existence. It's all happening for a reason. Your soul only your soul knows this. Like we don't really know why, because this veil has been put on over us. Before you came in, you asked for help to help you during the times you are placed on the other side of the veil, where you are unable to remember what you came here to do. You made arrangements with the other fragments to help guide you on your path, as you knew you would make mistakes and obstacles would come in your way, like at different times. So different fragments play different roles, and you need different guides along the way to steer you in the direction of the ultimate goal you came here to obtain. An arrangement was made, and different fragments take on different roles to help you accomplish this task called being a human on Earth. These are called your spirit guides or your team, and they consist of many different fragments, but there are a few main categories. Okay, so we have the main one, like the guardians. These are like your guardian angel. They are the ones that help keep you safe when you're like in harm's way and keep you protected from like anything getting into your field or anything like that. And we like to label them as the guardian angel, but not everyone sees them as beings with wings, okay? And sometimes they can come in with inhuman characteristics, like the story that I told earlier. But they usually they usually come in to help us. And then we also have human guides that come to teach us lessons and are here to assist at different points. These can be our friends, our parents, and our family members. Each person already has decided to play their part before entering the human form. Okay, and then we also have the galactic ascended master type guides who assist us, and they come in at different times. These are like the ascension guides, the ones that help us work through things because they have already gone through moving their vibration to a higher vibration, a higher frequency, and they come to assist because they have already accomplished this in their form, and they choose to assist to help you at different times. So they'll come like during on the astral plane, like during sleep or in meditation. And they can also be the ascended master type beings or the mystical type beings, like the dragons, the fairies, elemental types. There also can be like the animal guides, and they all kind of come up into this category. And they're here basically just to help us during our ascension, and they come in at certain times and they leave at certain times, and they're not always like there. They're only there when they're needed. And then we have the Akashic Record Guides. They come in to help us keep us on track as far as where we are and what we're doing. It's like all the records are recorded and everything is complete, and they bring it up and they help us to assist when we need to make decisions, or we're trying to heal something. We might need to go into a past life or need to go into a future life or something to help with that. So they come in to help us move forward, let go, and all this kind of stuff. So that they're there at different times as well. And then there are the builder guides, okay? So the builder guides, their sole purpose is to build whatever we dream up. Okay, and these guides will come in to help us on projects. And for example, an artist working on a special piece of artwork may be guided to may have a guide appear like in dream time to help them work through an issue or a problem that they have finishing a painting or a sculpture or something. Or this will happen for writers as well, to help them finish their book when they're having like a writer's block or something. And also they come in to assist, like to help people market their things and get their stuff out there. They help you build, they help you manifest. They're your manifesting team, and they're there to help you like get things going. And I had one of these kind of guides come in when I started doing the Shine Your Light Network, when I started doing video blogs. I had this one guide that came in the middle of the night, 3 nights in a row, and was showing me how to do the technical stuff about the going live on Facebook. And I didn't know how to do it, believe it or not. And I was a little bit kind of scared that I didn't know how to do this. But they were showing me that in the future that I needed to do this. This is where I was going to tell my story. This is where I was going to meet people. This is where I was going to get credibility, so that in the future, people would like to come to my classes and read my book and buy my artwork and all that kind of stuff. So you have different guides that come in at different times, okay, to help you do this work. And one thing that I understand from the builder guides is they get very, they can only create what you create. And it gets very kind of hard for them to do their job, because we are so indecisive as human beings. We don't know what we want half the time. And so we might start deciding that we want to paint our wall blue, and yet then tomorrow we decide we want to have it green, and they're in the middle of trying to make it blue, and then they don't know what you want, and then everything just kind of goes up. And so they have these guides that kind of go around sewing up the holes and the rips and the tears in the atmosphere when humans start to dream and then become indecisive. So from what I'm told, the builders, they create whatever we want. And sometimes it gets sticky because us humans don't really know what we want at times. And our guides come in many shapes and forms, and it is up to us to learn how to communicate with them. They do not have the ability to intervene without our permission. So if you want your guides to play a more active role, you must let them know by asking for assistance. The only guides that can come to assist without us asking are the protectors, or our higher self, and the councils, which is ultimately decided as to when they will intervene before we actually come into the human form. And I forgot to talk about the higher self. Your higher self consists of all the guides as one cohesive team. You can ask your higher self to be in your life in a more connected and profound way by taking the steps to learn how to hear your team. We all have a higher self and spiritual guidance team, and we are never alone. They are always walking beside you at all times, and remember when you need them the most. More than likely, they are carrying you. Take time to get intimate with your guides. So that's just talking about the guides. So now I am going to talk about different ways of how to connect with your guide and your spiritual team. Okay, so how to form a deep and intimate connection with your spirit guides. Developing a deep connection with our spirit guide team is one of the most important things a person can do, and yet it seems to sometimes be the hardest thing for people to do. We all come in with a whole support team available at our disposal, and yet somehow we seem to be so disconnected. We're always in seek mode to hear from our guides. We spend so much of our time going outwards for validation and connection that we forget that the answers to everything are really at our fingertips. I myself was like this in my early 20s. I would go to this psychic lady every 6 months to see what my guides were up to and to learn what my next steps were to take, what I needed to do. I literally felt no connection and felt very lost. This is what we do. It wasn't until I moved to Ireland in my early 30s that I started to figure out that the answers came from within. after going through my separation with my first husband. I called my trusted psychic, desperate for her to help guide me, and she said she couldn't read me from the phone. I had to figure it out myself. I began to start connecting slowly with my spirit guides, but it took another 10 years before I learned how to hear them. It wasn't until 2017 that I figured out how to dialogue with them. But looking back, I see that my team was trying to get my attention for a very long time and showing me how to connect for many, many years. So here I am. I love these like oracle decks, right? And I love like journaling. I was being told to kind of journal, and I didn't really know like what to journal about. But I just love these decks, like these oracle decks of cards. I have a few of them, and I would pull different cards at different times, like when I was like upset or something, or trying to figure out what they were trying, like what was happening, and it would try to give me answers to things, right? And I kept getting this card back around in 2017. This card here it was called Write. And I was like, write? Okay, what do you want me to write about? Because a card kept coming up and I'm thinking, if this card keeps coming up, I guess I'm supposed to write, but like, I'm not really good at like keeping up with a journal or anything like that. So I didn't know what it was that I was supposed to do or what I was supposed to write about. And so I said to the guides, I said, what do you want me to write about? Because like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be writing about. And so I pulled some different cards out of this deck of cards, and I got these different cards. So I pulled out a bunch of cards. I was getting things like intuition, knowledge, return of spirit, contact, divinity, assistance, starseed, and I was pulling these cards, and basically what I figured out was what they meant was they wanted me to talk to use these cards and journal about what the cards meant. Okay, and as I started journaling, I would pull like 3 cards a day or something. Like it was, and then it became even more insane. I got more different decks of cards, and I would pull 1 card from each deck and everything. And I still do that to this day. And I realized as I was looking through the journal and I was having this conversation, and this is the way my guides were speaking to me, was through the journaling, through the cards. So I would pick a few cards, they would give me guidance for the day. And then they would help me work through things. And there was just like a story evolving, and it was like a communication happening. So that was the way that I started connecting and hearing my guides, on top of doing it like in meditation, trying to meet and trying to like meditate and things. You can do that too. You can meet your guides, you can work with your guides and communicate your guides through just being quiet and listening to that. They might give you signs or whatever. And then there's also, you've got tons of signs all around you. You might be working on something and like a billboard will show up, or something will happen on somebody's license plate. So there's always like, you'll be driving down the road and somebody's license plate might say, go high or something. It might just, it gives you like, they'll give you signs, or like a feather might fall from the sky, or different things will happen at different times, and you'll know like how to understand and interpret your guides. Now, like when I used to go to this sound bath. It was like where the lady would have the singing bowls and stuff, and sometimes she would do like shamanic journey or whatever. But like every time I would go into this meditation during this sound bath, for the longest time I had this like lady, I called her Lady of the Lake. She would show up, and she was always like in a river or a stream or water. And I would be laying on the lake or the stream or the water, and she would be caressing my hair, caressing my body, and like putting like pitchers of water over my head. And so this, I was like, I don't know what she was doing. She was nurturing me or something. But then at one time I got a little bit kind of scared because I thought, what is going on? Because I was in a meditation, and she was telling me that she was done now, that she had done her job and that I didn't need her anymore. And then she showed me another set of guides. And so this other set of guides came in. There was like two tall beings, and I saw them from the back. They looked a little bit galactic, and they were holding hands. And so they came in to help. So at different times you can find you have these things happening to you during dream time and in meditation. But I was also shown how to crystal gaze. I do a lot of crystal gazing, and that helps as well. You can, the crystal gazing works just like the oracle cards, and I have a whole class on crystal gazing. If you'd like to learn how to crystal gaze, please, look that up. It's on my website, and it's in the same place that the spiritual tools go. But if you want to learn a really deep way to work with the crystals and do this crystal gazing, it will help you just like the oracle decks. Another way to connect to your guides is to have a session with somebody that does some type of hypnosis, like maybe past life regression hypnosis or QHHT or any of those different types of things that can help you connect. I spent a lot of time watching Elba Wyman do sessions where she would work with regression and hypnotherapy, and she would help taking attachments out and all this kind of stuff. And but I really liked the QHHT because I was then able to talk to my higher self and ask all these questions. And sometimes if you have a QHHT session and you're trying to get like a deeper connection with your guides, you can ask your higher self if they will connect you in a much more profound way so that you don't have to feel kind of like lost all the time. So that can happen during one of these types of sessions where you can be upgraded that in that kind of way. So so working basically through meditation, listening to the signs, seeing things, listening. I mean, like a sign could be like on a television show and you could be getting an answer, or your guides would be speaking to you. It could be anything. So you just need to learn how to listen to the voice. Listen to what your guides are speaking. They're trying to say to you to help you along the way. Some people they hear voices and they get visions, but that doesn't always happen for every single person. So just know that they are there, and it's up to you to figure out how to communicate with them in a more profound way. So now I'm going to take you over, and we're going to do the procedure on how to meet your spiritual guide team. And then after that, I have a channeled message to end the class in from my higher self. Welcome to the Meet Your Spiritual Guidance Team procedure. This procedure is meant to help you go into the space where your spirit guides reside. Each time you experience this procedure, new guides may come forward as guides change and evolve throughout the time we change and evolve. You can do this procedure anytime you want to be close to your team and to help you figure out which guide is helping you work through the moment you are in. Remember, you are always connected to your team, even when you are not consciously aware of it. If for some reason you do not see, sense, or feel your guides in this time, be open to them introducing themselves in more subtle ways through your dream time or meditation. Sometimes you may be pushed to see something that you are not ready to see. Trust the connection and trust the process. Your guides will show up in ways that are comfortable for you. Remember, this is not necessarily how they take form. During this procedure, I will be using a shamanic technique that is used in journeying and will be using very powerful Indian flute music to take you there, instead of using a shamanic drum. Relax and allow yourself to be immersed in the music and ease yourself into the well of dreams. Before we jump into the well of dreams, let's take time to breathe. Take a deep breath in and breathe it out, letting go of anything that may be on your mind or bothering you. Take a deep breath in and breathe it out. Take a deep breath in and breathe it out. Connect your breath deep into your heart space. Feel your heart beating. Feel it opening. Feel this space. A tunnel appears above your crown and opens up at the top of your head. Allow your consciousness to go into the tunnel and shoot yourself out into space. There is a pyramid waiting for you in this space. It is made of golden copper cylinders on the edges. Place the pyramid over you and allow yourself to sit inside of the pyramid and lay on the floor. The floor opens up and you float down into a giant cube. Under the floor of the cube is a ball of fire. And over the top of the pyramid, there is a golden perspective ring placed to help you view a different perspective, a different view from what you are used to seeing. We are going to use the fireball to propel us up through the cube into the tip of the pyramid and out to our destination, which today is the Well of Dreams. The fireball begins to spin, and the fire gets stronger and stronger. The heat begins to rise until you finally are able to push through the tip of the pyramid and project your consciousness to the Well of Dreams. Push yourself out now. Clouds of white, purple, blue, and pink swirl in front of you. This is the veil between you and the spirit world. As the veil dissolves, you find yourself in the Well of Dreams. The first thing you meet is your higher self and oversoul. Take a moment to see, sense, and feel your higher self's presence. Your higher self knows everything. It holds your life's purpose and the knowledge you decided to come here to experience in this lifetime on the earth. You can give your higher self permission to guide you in a much more conscious and direct way going forward. Ask your higher self to give you a sign that you will know when you are being held. We have many guides that come to us at different times in our life for different reasons. Today, let's connect to these different guides who are with you at this time, in this now. In front of you, the guardians appear. These are the beings that come to help you when you are in harm's way or are in need of protection. If you wish, you can ask the guardians to assist more directly when another person or attachment tries to latch onto either you or your auric field. To put up a shield that will stay in place as you move through your life. This way, you do not have to remember on a daily basis if you put up your protection or not. And the guardians will keep your armor on for you so that you can focus on your ascension, trusting and knowing you are always protected. and get on with your life. This will help you be able to know that you can work on holding your vibration and not bring you down into levels of fear. We now move on to the Ascension Guides. They consist of beings from other higher realms of existence who have already evolved beyond your level and frequency. They come to help assist your ascension. Take a moment to be with them. Realize that these guides come and go and usually leave when you have moved up to a higher frequency. They sometimes will show themselves when they enter, just so you can know they are here. But after the first initial visit, they tend to do their work without you noticing them. This is why you might have a near-death experience or a moment when you are shown, and then you no longer see them. They do this mostly to wake you up. They visit mostly in dream time or during meditation. Take a moment to be with the Ascension Guides. The next set of guides are the Akashic Record Keepers. They come in different times to help you remember who you are, to help assist in choices and decisions you need to make, or to help you answer questions from past lives or other lifetimes in order to help you heal and let go of the past, or clear your lineage, or help you move forward in some way. Take time to be with these record keepers, these Akashic record keepers. And feel their presence. The last set of guides are the Builder Guides. This is your dream team, the manifestation team. These are the beings that build your reality into whatever way, shape, or form you choose. The hardest part for these guides is humans' indecisiveness. They literally are here to build our visions, our dreams. Take time to sit with the builder guides and get to know them a little bit. It is now time to leave the well of dreams that resides beyond the veil. Know that you have a huge team behind you and that you are loved so much. Let's take time to thank our guides for coming forward today. Remember, all is well, and you are never, ever alone. You are always connected, even when you do not even know they are there. They are here to assist and help you. Trust you are always in the right place at the right time. Anything that is meant for you will always be there. If you miss an opportunity, if it is meant for you, it will come back around for you in its own divine timing, in a different way, shape, and form. It's time to come back to your body in the now moment. Take time to begin to move and stretch, to wiggle your fingers and toes. Come back to your body and feel refreshed and ready to take on the next best life for yourself. Be open to your new connection with your spiritual guide team and any changes that come into your life for your highest, best life. So I'm going to try to do a channeled message here. I'm going to try to connect to my higher self and my spiritual guidance team to see if they have any messages for anybody that's taking this class or would like to know more about connection to their guides. So I'm just going to take a few moments to connect. The higher self and my oversoul team want to start out by saying, Robin, you are always connected. You don't need to do anything special to connect with your team. They want everybody to know this. They want everybody to know that they are fully and completely connected at all times before you come into this earth. Before you come into this lifetime, you sit and you meet with your guides. You meet with the beings. You meet with your higher self, oversoul team, and you make decisions with them as to how you would like to experience the life that you're going over into. And this is at the time that what you do is you make plans and you make arrangements with other fragments of beings, other light fragments, other soul fragments, and other guides, and you ask them to come into your life at certain times to play certain roles, and for your guides to remind you at certain times when it's time for you to activate and do things. This occurs for each and every one of us, even though when we come into the earth, we still have free will. We can do as we choose. We always have our guidance team walking beside us at all times. And they want us to know you are fully and completely connected. It is important, dear ones, that you learn how to hear your spiritual team, your guidance team. Because different things will happen in your lifetime. And you will need to know how to move and flow through your life, how to make decisions, and how to move and adjust as life goes on its little adventure through it'll go like one way and the other way and over and above and around and over and above and over and around, and this will happen and that will happen and this will happen and this will occur and this decision will be made, and everything is kind of one cohesive lifetime that you will need to have guidance at certain times. You'll need assistance. Your guide team is always there. You just need to learn how to hear your guide team, because it is very important for you to be able to hear the voices, hear the information, see and feel and know the signs of your spiritual team and how they speak to you, how they try to help you. They are here at all times, and it is up to you to learn how to hear the voice, to hear the beings, to hear the guides or see the guides. The guides do not come and whisper in your ear every second of how to do everything. And so you need to learn how to navigate, how to understand the signs and the way they are speaking to you. Use the information that is in this class and information that others speak about on how to connect to your spiritual team. Try out the different ways of working with your team, because it's very, very important for you not to go outside of yourself and try to find the answers from somebody else, a person outside of your being, of your existence. It is very important that you learn how to hear the signs, how you learn how to navigate and move through to make decisions, because, dear ones, the psychics and mediums and all of the channelers may not necessarily be available at all times when you need to make a decision. When the house is on fire, you need to know how to move and how to navigate. You need to be able to listen to the guidance immediately to keep yourself safe. You will not have time to go to another person to analyze the data and figure out what to do when an emergency is happening. And also, they have a different perspective, a different view, a different agenda, a different happening. They are here for different reasons, and they are here to experience different things. And it is very important for you to be able to hear, see, and feel your guidance team at all times. Because basically, when shit hits the fan, you will need to know how to navigate. So this is why it's important. It's so important, dear ones, to learn when things are quiet, when you have time, to learn how to listen, see, feel, and hear. Use the tools in whatever way, shape, or form works for you. You have been given tons of ideas on how to do this. Now you just need to try to figure out what works for you and how you will navigate, how you will listen to your team. Your team is always, always with you. They never desert you. Even when you feel deserted, when you feel the most deserted, is when we are lifting you up and holding you. The other times we walk alongside of you. But there are moments when you need to be held. And trust that you are always in the right place, in the right time. And we, your team, always has you protected and always has your back. That is all, dear ones. That is all we have for you today. So this is the end of masterclass number 9, and I hope that you got something out of it and that you enjoyed it and that you will have a closer, deeper connection with your guides going forward, because your spiritual team is there for you and always has your back. So I hope you feel a lot better after this, and you feel a little bit more inspired to learn how to hear your guides in a much more profound way. So until the next time, I will send you very much love and send you on your way.